What is going on, guys? Today is going to be the real world review of the WRX. Now, this is not a vehicle that was given to me to test out. This is not something that somebody's paying me to do. This is my brand new 2022 WRX, or the VB. I wanted to share with you guys what it's actually like to drive one of these things as your daily driver commuter. Now, I'm not talking about like the reviews where they have the car companies come out and they pay somebody to review the video, take it to the track and beat on it, things like that. I put the miles on there driving to and from work, and I tested a whole bunch of stuff to see what this is really like for a daily driver vehicle. One thing I will not go over, the cladding on here. Everybody has been flaming this as being terrible. I actually like it, but that is not the point of the video today, because that's been blown up all over the place already. So if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, because I will be modifying this guy and eventually doing some little bit of rallying, some autocross, maybe the drag strip, and it's going to do a lot of snow driving in the wintertime. So hit that subscribe button for me. Let's get this rolling. So the comfort for daily driving is that I don't really think about in a positive way. I'm not thinking like, okay, well, the ride is a little rough, I can get used to that. Like, I just went over a railroad crossing there, and it was fine. It was very, very comfortable. The comfort on the roadways is very, very soft, yet it corners very, very well. So if I'm gonna go around a corner a little more aggressive or something like that, I don't have to worry about like the jarring of bumps and stuff as I'm leading up or exiting it. It's just a very overall comfort drive. The seats themselves are very comfortable. I'm approximately 5'10" and 180 pounds, so they fit me very nicely. They're nice and snug without having to be too tight. You still also get the side bolstering for going around the corners a little harder if you can take it to the track and stuff. I love these seats. Currently, my wife is 36 weeks pregnant. She went with me to go get it, and she's been in here quite a few times since, and it is pregnant wife approved for comfort. I guess it's not really a question, but a review of people who've actually driven it, and they say that this feels slower. I would have to chalk that up to the lack of turbo lag. I personally think it's a positive thing. The torque power band kicks in instantly. No matter where you're at in the torque band as you're driving, you can downshift into another gear, you hit the gas, and it's instant power. From an acceleration standpoint at a stoplight, the turbo lag is gone, so the pull is straight on through. So it's that consistent, constant power, kind of like a naturally aspirated V8 engine. I like that a lot too. I will say the road noise inside this vehicle is very, very low. I know a lot of that has to do with the tires, the type of roads that you're on, and things like that. Granted, I don't have an aftermarket exhaust yet on here. It is all the stock exhaust, and I know once I switch that out, the actual road noise itself is a lot lower than any of my other Subarus I've ever owned. This part, my wife actually pointed out, the sunroof is actually a lot wider, and it's also a lot quieter. And I'm going to open it up here for you. Currently, I'm going 50 miles an hour, and you can't even hear it. I've even gone up to 80 miles an hour with this open, and that's where it starts to pick up a little extra noise on there. The shape of the front end coming up and over it, the aerodynamics must be a lot better on there because it is so much more quiet than the old ones were. I jumped into here and I was kind of unsure about the electronic clutch that was in here. Currently, my old Mustang is a cable-based clutch. My old STI was a hydraulic clutch, so jumping in here, I was kind of curious on what would be different. Honestly, I couldn't tell the difference. So I test drove another one of these cars when I put this one on order. Jumping back into my STI after the hydraulic clutch, I felt like the clutch was just rudimentary. It didn't feel as smooth engagement as this electronic clutch is. So driving in traffic, the clutch doesn't feel as clunky. I really, really love that aspect of it. The gas mileage, I know we're not buying these cars to get better gas. you want to get better gas mileage, go buy a Prius, go buy a hybrid, go buy an electric car, whatever. It's supposed to be 19 city, 26 highway with a overall combined 23, 24 miles to the gallon. However, I drive to and from work approximately 15 miles each way, and about half it city, half it is highway. And I'm sitting at 27.8 miles to the gallon. That's really good. That's better than I thought it was going to be. And especially since my STI, I was getting on average 21, 22 miles to the gallon of my combined. One thing that's kind of weird is the turn signal. All turn signals I've ever driven is you push the turn signal up, it stays up. You go around the corner, the turn signal lever falls back down. This one does not. You push the turn signal on, it starts going, but the turn signal lever drops back down to the normal place. I think that's a little weird. Just different. That was a little getting used to. If you have multiple vehicles and the other ones don't have it, then you know, back and forth is going to feel a little weird on that. I also noticed a lot of people talking about how the steering feel is. They say it's not responsive, or it's not a lot of road feel to it, which I honestly don't even know what they're talking about. Steering on here is absolutely perfect. It is nice and tight. You don't feel every single imperfection in the road, which I like for the comfort aspect of it. That's a good thing in this case of a daily driver, or like a real world driving feel of it. The lights in here, the normal halogens, I saw those at the dealership and I didn't like the normal halogen ones. This one has the upgraded LED lights in it, which they're not limited, they turn with the car, but they're LED bulbs. It's still bright, and it does have that definite cutoff on there, so you're not blinding a lot of other people, and it is very, very noticeable. Like Jersey barriers on the freeway, the light does not go above the Jersey barriers, so I know it doesn't go above like somebody else's rear trunk or something like that. This is one of those things that my wife also pointed out. There are no blind spots. Like, the A pillar is very, very, very thin compared to the old ones. The B pillars are very small, and the C pillars, I don't know, the pillars in the rear, if that's even a C pillar, those are very, very narrow as well. So I don't see any blind spots whatsoever in here. That's a good and a bad. I feel like I'm in a big old fish bubble. Eventually I will tint these windows, so the tint will be nice and it'll kind of help with that fish bubble, but for the blind spot aspect, there are no blind spots. I really like that one. I've seen a lot of people complain about how the screen itself is not a full screen when, say, you turn your GPS on, whether it's your internal Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. The full screen doesn't show up of the map. Or also when you put it in reverse, it's not the full screen. So I use Android Auto, and when you do it through the screen, the top half is actually the map, and the bottom half is still the radio, which I really actually like. I hate being like in, say, Google Maps and some sort of song comes on that you don't want to listen to or whatever. You have to get out of the maps, go to the song, hit next, and then go back. This way you have both of them on the same screen, so you have access to both of them at all times. Most people will be taking this and leaving it on the pavement for like the entire life of the vehicle. However, going on like, say, dirt roads with a lot of potholes and stuff, it's actually very comfortable. Even though with the Subaru's new global platform, the chassis, everything got stiffer, driving with potholes, driving it off the actual beaten path was very, very comfortable. I was very, very surprised on that one. Up here in the Pacific Northwest, we do a lot of hiking. There's a lot of that out here. All of ours are up in the mountains, and they're not well-maintained roads. I wasn't being bounced around a lot in the dirt. I wasn't being thrown about. It was very planted. It was very, very comfortable. I was hitting some potholes, and it didn't feel like I was bouncing back and forth. I wasn't being jarred around. I thoroughly liked that the aspect of it. All right, guys, if you were thinking about getting the 2022 WRX, I will hands down say, do it. Absolutely love the car already. I've had it for a couple weeks now, so yeah, definitely do it. It's comfortable, it's fun, it's sporty, and don't knock it till you try it. Huge shout out to the Miata over here. We had this as a chase cam and the follow cam, and my buddy Tyrell for doing all the driving and filming for me. But guys, absolutely blast. Do I regret swapping up for my 2015 STI? No, definitely not. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, and we're going to see you guys next time. Today is the real. I forgot about the prison. I was like talking to the camera. Oops. Today is the real. And leaving it on, a right-hand drive Skyline. It's going to be the
world's worst.
World's worst review